Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and I'm here to announce everything you need to know for the 13th round of the Queer Lit Readathon. If you missed my video yesterday, this is not my normal filming setup. I am currently pet sitting at my best friend's house, which means that there's probably gonna be some noises at some point during this video. Also, I feel like you're slightly askew. Let's see if I can fix that before a cat knocks this tripod over. Ooh, speak of the cat and the cat sees you and stares into your soul. Which is oddly on theme for the 13th round of the Queer Lit Readathon. If you've never heard of this readathon before, it's a biannual readathon that I co-host with my friend Rogan. When we started out, we were just doing 1 week in June and 1 week in December. Sometimes we threw in some queer weekends in there in the spring and the fall. But since last year, we decided that the June round is the entire month of June for the entire month of Pride, at least in North America. And this year, we've also been giving you monthly prompts to remind you to read queer all year. Here are some usual reminders for you before we get into the prompts on the bingo board, which I'm sure is what you're here for, but we're going to go through everything else just so you have all of the information. This round of the readathon is taking place from June 1st to June 30th in your time zone or whatever time zone you want to pretend that you're in for the readathon. When it comes to the bingo board, you can double up, triple up. If you can find a book that covers like 7 prompts, I want to know about it. And after I go over these prompts, I'm going to go through my tentative TBR because I still feel like there's a couple of gaps I would like to fill, but I haven't figured out which book I want to use yet. Also, every round since the second round of the Queer Lit Readathon, we've traditionally had a guest co-host come in with us, but this being the 13th round, we figured that sometimes people are superstitious about that number, so we just decided to do this one ourselves. I'm personally not superstitious about it because I was born on a 13, so I'm fine with it. But if you're a queer creator who reads queer books and you make bookish content and you would like to be a host in a future round and you caption your YouTube videos, let us know down in the comments below. We can connect for maybe round 14. Now, I mentioned captioning, which is very important for all YouTube videos, but specifically important for these YouTube videos because my co-host Rogan is deaf. So if you put out a video for this readathon and you don't caption it, Rogan will not be able to enjoy that, and a lot of other people in the community also won't be able to enjoy it. So if you have the ability, I know it takes a little bit extra time to caption your videos properly, but it would be greatly appreciated. Okay, I think I went over anything, but if you have any questions, please let me know down below. And now, let's get into the bingo board. Let me scoot over so there's room. The round 13 bingo board for the Queer Lit Readathon looks like this. Our very first square is graphic, so this can be a graphic novel, it can be a graphic memoir. As long as it's graphic and it's queer, it counts. As for group read, this is a square that we have every round, and for the past couple of rounds we've decided to have at least 2 books for this square just to improve the chances that you'll be able to find this book wherever you are in the world. Unfortunately, there's just no way for me to know the availability in every country on the planet, so I really hope we've picked things that you can find at least one of these, and if you can't, I'm really sorry about that. However, the group read is not mandatory. If you want to skip this bingo square, you go right ahead. It's totally up to you how you want to use the bingo board. The first group read for this round is The Skin and Its Girl by Sarah Cipher. And just so you know what it's about, I'm going to read you some of the synopsis now. A young queer Palestinian-American woman pieces together her great-aunt's secrets in this sweeping debut, a family saga confronting questions of sexual identity, exile, and lineage. In a Pacific Northwest hospital far from the Rumani family's ancestral home in Palestine, the heart of a stillborn baby begins to beat and her skin turns a vibrant, permanent cobalt blue. On the same day, the Rumani century-old soap factory in Nablus is destroyed in an airstrike. The family matriarch and keeper of all Rumani lore, Aunt Nua, believes that the blue girl embodies their sacred history, hearkening to a time when the Rumanis were among the wealthiest soap makers and their blue soap was a symbol of a legendary love. The next paragraph starts with decades later, which leads me to believe that we're going to have some dual timelines. I'm very interested to see how this one goes. The other choice for a group read is Under the Odala Trees. This is a book that I've seen many times, and I've kind of put it on my mental TBR, kind of in there somewhere, and it's just time to bring that to the forefront. Again, let me read you a little bit of the synopsis so you know what you're getting yourself into. Inspired by Nigeria's folk tales and its war, Under the Odala Trees is a deeply searching, powerful debut about the dangers of living and loving openly. Ijeoma comes of age as her nation does. Born before independence, she is 11 when the Civil War breaks out in the young Republic of Nigeria. Sent away to safety, she meets another displaced child and they, star-crossed, fall in love. They are from different ethnic communities. They're also both girls. Like I said, this one's been on my radar for ages, so I'm excited to finally get into it. The next square on the bingo board is number in the title. It can be any number you want, but definitely you get brownie points if that number is 13. It doesn't have to be 13, it can be literally any number, but I'm definitely giving you a digital high five if it happens to be 13. Next we have the choose your own prompt square, so if there's a book that you really want to read but it doesn't really fit any of the prompts and you still want to check off a square, this is the square for you. Next we have an anthology. This can be any type of anthology. It can be a poetry anthology, an essay anthology, whatever you want. After that, we have a rainy day read. This is one of those books that you've been putting off because you're like, oh, I'm gonna read this at the perfect time. And it turns out the perfect time is during the Queer Lit Readathon. Alternatively, we have a prompt that just says night. And you can interpret this in any way you want. It could be night in the title, you could read it exclusively at night, it could have a lot to do with nighttime. I'm really excited to see what people come up with for this one specifically because I really like one-word prompts that you can interpret in many different ways. There is actually a book that would be perfect for this that has night in the title that I actually really want to read, but it's under the St. Martin's Press umbrella, which means it's under boycott right now, so I will not be reading or talking about it. And this is your reminder that when you're making your TBR, make sure to give all of the boycott titles a pass. Next we have international, so published in a country or preferably a continent that is not your own. It can also be translated if you want, or it can be from a country that also speaks the same language that you speak. That is totally up to you. We're just trying to make sure that you read outside of your own country. Next we have Black History, because in America, June 19th is Juneteenth, which is a holiday celebrated in the United States where they commemorate the emancipation of enslaved peoples. Next we have Immigrants, because they get the job done. Next we have The Great Outdoors. We'd also like you to read something that focuses on mental health. And of course, being the 13th round, of course, we want you to read something that is creepy queers. We're also really interested to see what people will pick up for non-European mythology. Our penultimate square is continued, so this can be continue a series, continue by an author you like, continue on a subject you've been reading on. Again, many different ways to interpret this square, and the final square is also one that you can interpret in many ways, and that is magic. That can be fantasy, it can be magical realism, it could be fabulism, it could be anything that has to do with magic. It could be about a bunch of kids who just like to be magicians, because guess what? There is a book series like that. And I'm going to give my personal queer nod to it because one of the characters has two dads and also it's written by a very queer dude. So there you have it, those are all the prompts for the 13th round of the Queer Lit Readathon. If you have any questions that I haven't answered, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you have any recommendations for any of these categories, please let me know those down in the comments below because I'm going to be taking some of your recommendations when I do the Instagram posts for recommendations for these different categories. So there should be a recommendation from me, a recommendation from Rogan, and then a recommendation from one of you. So I'd love if you would be that one of you down in the comments below. I totally forgot to tell you about my TBR. Full transparency, I finished filming that video, put everything away, put my hair up because it's real hot. I actually changed out of this shirt and I've changed back into it for you because it is a lovely shirt, but it's hot as balls and I need to be wearing less fabric. But that's fine. We're gonna do this and then I can go back to being comfortable again. So like I mentioned, I haven't covered every single prompt yet, but I still have time to do that. So this is my very tentative TBR and the prompts that would be checked off by the books that I'm going to read for these certain prompts. When it comes to graphic, for this one I'm going to be reading I'm So Glad We Had This Time Together. This is a huge graphic memoir that I recently hauled, so if you didn't see my recent haul video, check that out down below or up in the cards. But this one is by a Toronto-based man who grew up very gay, as it says in the synopsis, and I'm into it. I'm also going to try to read both of the group reads because both of them are available through my library. When it comes to number in the title and anthology, I found a book called Queer 13, which delights me to no end because as I said before, you get extra brownie points if the number in the title is 13. If I'm remembering correctly, this is all about authors reflecting on the time when they were kind of like about 13 years old and realizing they were queer and all of those things. I'm excited to get into that. I ordered a copy. It has not arrived yet, but it should arrive by the end of this month. As for Choose Your Own, I haven't decided what extra category I'm going to use yet, but I'm sure I will find one. Interestingly, I think I've decided that I'm going to combine a rainy day read and the night prompt by only reading Tarnished Are the Stars during the nighttime. For International Read for now, I've decided to fulfill this with The T in LGBT, which is by Jamie over at Jammy Dodger here on YouTube. I've been meaning to read this since last year. I have a copy. It's beautiful, just haven't cracked it open yet. As for Black history, I'm really trying to find a book where the whole book is about Black history, and I haven't quite done that yet, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know down below. But as for Immigrants, I have a book where a couple of the stories would cover Black history, but like I said, I want a full book, not just a couple of the stories. When it comes to Immigrants, I've decided to read Nothing Ever Just Disappears, which is 7 queer stories, and 2 of those queer biographies are Black folks. So like I said, I have a little bit of Black queer history there, but I want a full book. This is another one that I recently got in that haul, so again, go watch that haul video. At this point, I don't have anything written down for Great Outdoors. I feel like at least one of these books is going to have some aspect of that, but I don't know for sure, so if you have any really good suggestions, let me know. For mental health and continued, I decided to read Page Not Found by Jen Wilde. This is their first middle grade book, but I've loved everything else that I've read by them. So that's how it applies to continued. I'm just continuing to read Jen Wilde books. But when it comes to mental health, this is all about this girl who realizes that her parents have been lying to her and actually submitted her into this study for children with autism without her knowledge, which means that she has this chip in her brain that is sometimes affecting her mental health. Honestly, as soon as I opened it for that haul, I wanted to get into it, but I was like, nope, save it for next month. It'll be okay. You have other things to read until then. For creepy queers, I'm going to read It Came From the Closet, which I'm getting from the library. This is an anthology of creepy things that have to do with horror movies and creepy queers and how that's influenced people over the years. At least that's my understanding. I haven't read it yet, so I could be completely wrong. And for both non-European mythology and magic, I have a book whose title I might be butchering right now because I'm not entirely certain if I'm saying it right, but if I'm doing a good job, it's Kaikiai. This one I have as an audiobook hold because I finally remembered that I should probably get some audiobooks in there to make it a little bit easier on myself to black out this bingo board. And the beginning of this synopsis reads, I was born on the full moon under an auspicious constellation, the holiest of positions. Much good it did me. As for the mythological aspect, I believe this one delves into Indian mythology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, yes, that was all the prompts. I don't have books for all the prompts, but I did talk about all the prompts. Let's take this back to Kathy from the past to close out this video. I swear sometimes things are just so chaotic. That's it for this video. What prompt are you the most excited about? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!